This meeting, organized by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, is part of efforts to garner support from key players on reducing the menace of drug abuse in the country. A representative of the Ministry of Justice speaks to how the amendments of the Act, establishing the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency and its efforts towards the proceeds of crime management, will give more backing to addressing drug abuse in the country.
Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice is unable to be here this morning due to demands of urgent state matters. He sends his apologies. I represent him and I shall read his remarks. It is with great honor that I stand before you today as we gather to address one of the most pressing challenges facing our dear nation, the scourge of substance abuse and illicit drug trafficking. Let me begin by specially recognizing the Chairman and CEO of the NDLEA, Brigadier General Buba Marwa, retired, CON, OFR. Our distinguished UNODC country representative, the ECOWAS Commissioner, and all esteemed members of the Inter-Ministerial Committee on Drug Control. The reality we face is sobering. The National Drug Use Survey and Living Experiences have revealed that Nigeria has a high prevalence of drug abuse. These crises affect every aspect of our society, from public health, national security, family stability to economic productivity. The projection of the UNODC report, which states that over 40% increase will be recorded in drug prevalence by 2030 in Africa, is worrisome, as Nigeria has one of the highest youthful population in the world. Nigeria's comprehensive and coordinated approach to tackling her complex drug problems through the National Drug Control Master Plan emphasizes the importance of integrated multidisciplinary efforts involving diverse MDS, other critical stakeholders, and CSOs. This blueprint addresses drug cultivation, production, trafficking, and use, focusing on the 4 strategic pillars, which aim to disrupt drug trafficking, reduce drug demand and harm, ensure access to controlled medicine for genuine patients and research, and improve coordination and evidence-based decision-making. In the past 4 years, we have witnessed unprecedented effort by the NDLEA. These achievements include arrests and seizures, convictions, elaborate evidence-based drug demand reduction interventions using the War Against Drug Abuse social advocacy platform to sensitize communities on the dangers of drug abuse. Consistent gains have been recorded within the global space by fostering international cooperation and building strong partnerships. NDLEA has sustained the fight with renewed energy and vigor, giving hope to the once hopeless situation. We deeply appreciate the excellent support of our international and regional partners, the EU, UNODC, and ECOWAS. The Federal Ministry of Justice has worked together with the NDLEA to ensure that our national legal system effectively supports the drug control effort of the agency. We are at the last lap of finalizing the amendment of the NDLEA Act, which will significantly enhance the organizational capability of the agency to control the menace of substance abuse and illicit drug trafficking in Nigeria. The ministry is also providing appropriate support in the area of proceeds of crime management, essential to dismantling the financial networks of drug traffickers. I must also acknowledge the vital contribution of our other law enforcement agencies, including the Nigerian Army, Navy, Air Force, Police, DSS, EFCC, NSDC, NCS, and NAFDAC, whose collaboration has been instrumental in these successes. The work of this Inter-Ministerial Committee has been crucial in coordinating a whole-of-government approach to this top-burner issue. By bringing together critical stakeholders, we have been able to develop and implement more comprehensive and balanced strategies, applying collaborative spirit, which the NDCMP promotes. I particularly commend the state governments that have established their own drug control committees and the civil society organizations working tirelessly at the community levels to ensure more holistic outcomes. As we look ahead, several key priorities demand our attention. We must expand prevention programs to address the root causes of drug abuse, targeting the youth, women, the vulnerable, and marginalized persons in communities. As committed stakeholders, we must ensure that provisions to access, treatment, and rehabilitations are put in place for those who need the services. We should consider alternatives to incarceration for minor drug offenses, focusing instead on rehabilitation. Finally, let us leave this meeting with renewed commitment to protecting our youth, securing our communities, and building a healthier, safer Nigeria for generations to come. The commitment made by the NDLEA, the IMC, and other stakeholders holds the promise for a drug-free Nigeria. Thank you, and may God bless our collective efforts and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, our special guest
on drug control for the year 2025. I would like to acknowledge members of the IMC representing various ministries, departments, and agencies of government, and other stakeholder groups present at this important gathering. Allow me to use this opportunity to commend each of you for your unwavering dedication in discharging your duties as esteemed members of this laudable committee. This meeting is of great significance as it marks the 5th year of the implementation of the National Drug Control Master Plan, NDCMP 2021 to 2025. Signifying its conclusion and setting the stage for the development of the next edition of the National Action Plan. The effective coordination exhibited by the IMC and the spirit of cooperation that has consistently guided this committee are highly commendable. Moreover, the genuine collaboration you have all invested in achieving the goals outlined in the NDCMP deserves our sincere appreciation. One of the key items on our agenda is the adoption of the 2023 and 2024 NDCMP annual monitoring reports. The 2023 is a bit delayed because the inputs did not arrive in time from members, but at least we have 2024 together. We'll adopt them later today. In this regard, I wish to express my gratitude to the committee members who submitted reports detailing their activities for the year 2023 and 2024, thereby ensuring that Nigeria's drug control efforts are comprehensively captured and adequately represented. It is also pertinent to acknowledge the significant contributions of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime to our work. Thank you very much indeed. The UN ODC has supported numerous initiatives during the lifespan of the NDCMP 2021 to 2025. As part of today's proceedings, members will be expected to engage in broad deliberations on the progress achieved in implementing the NDCMP in 2024, and more importantly, to consider the conclusive actions required to ensure the successful conclusion of the NDCMP 2021-2025, this being the last year. At this juncture, allow me to present an overview of key activities and milestones recorded by the NDLEA in the year 2024. Generally speaking, after assessing major programs implemented across the strategic pillars in 2023 and 2024, I can confirm that we have collectively made commendable progress on the fourth National Action Plan in comparison with previous iterations. Under the supply reduction pillar, our operational efforts and strategic offensives led to the arrest of 31,334 drug offenders, of whom 6,839 were convicted. We also recorded the seizure of over 4 million kilograms of assorted illicit drugs and undertook the destruction of 426.4 hectares of cannabis farms. Now, you watch the short clip, and you can see the desperation with people, which people are engaging for money. I was telling a special guest of honor just a few days ago, we arrested 2 would-be pilgrims going to Saudi Arabia for the Hajj, but embedded in their stomachs, cocaine, swallowed. They're going to pray to God, and already they're swallowing to go and sell. We've had incidents of people who have been deceived. Even now, we have a case of 3 women 2 years ago who were deceived with Hajj. Some people offered to pay for their Hajj, tickets, visa, everything. And before they left, they brought a small bag and said, please, when you get there, there are some things here for you to give one of our relatives. But they have sewn cocaine under the bag. And they were caught in Medina, the airport, Saudi Arabia. So far, they've been prosecuted and given 25 years. But, fortunately, we were able to arrest the perpetrators here in Nigeria. And so the matter is still unfinished. When I went to sign the MOU with my counterparts in Riyadh a few months ago, I drew attention to their fate. But we've arrested the perpetrators, those who are innocent. And the matter is still ongoing. So you have this type of desperation from these people. Under the drug demand reduction strategic pillar, we provided counseling and rehabilitation services to over 19,000 individuals. By accelerating our wider sensitization activities across states, local government areas, wards, and communities, we have been able to intentionally disseminate awareness of the dangers of drug abuse to diverse population groups. This has in turn fostered a sense of shared ownership and collective commitment in the national effort to curb substance abuse, trafficking, and proliferation across the country. Regarding Pillar 3, which is access to controlled medicines for medical and scientific purposes, the Memorandum of Understanding between NDLEA and NAFDAC was finalized and signed. The MOU facilitates the sharing of intelligence, infrastructure, and expertise to enhance operational efficiency, safeguard public health, and ensure community safety. Under the governance and coordination pillar, various strategic activities were conducted to enhance visibility and ensure effective communication on the NDCMP. These included high-level advocacy visits to key stakeholders at both state and national levels, and the utilization of traditional and social media platforms to disseminate intentional messaging. I trust that every week you see what we statements that we send out and video clips and so on to keep everyone informed of the activities in all spheres of the NDCMP. My management team and I personally undertook many of these engagements. Internationally, we have fostered and sustained collaborations that have enhanced global cooperation, forged strong partnerships, and driven strategic growth in multiple facets of drug control. We are working very effectively with the United States, United Kingdom, France, India, several other countries, Saudi Arabia, and in the past, Nigerians on arrival in foreign airports automatically, you see the Nigerian passport, they just step aside because they are going through suspicion. That is no longer the case because they appreciate there's a lot of work going on. One day I arrived in Heathrow and as one of the British Border Force officers in uniform, British Nigerian, I found out. And he asked, is that, am I so person? I said, yes. So he was quite full of commendation for the work of the NDLEA. He said that before, the flights from Lagos used to arrive Heathrow like 5 or so in the morning, and that they always make sure that he is on duty to receive that flight because he's British Nigerian, and that to meet that flight he has to wake up 1 a.m. every day to meet the flight. But now they allow him to take his normal turn with the others, and he can come to work. No more expectation that every Lagos one flight there's something there that's not supposed to be. Now that's a good news, at least, that things are working. And you have seen recently, up till yesterday or day before yesterday, we signed an MOU with British Home Office International Operations. They told us that there's a small project that they help. They don't give cash, of course, but they give us training, equipment, and so on. You saw the shooting there. There's the French that are helping us strike force. On a visit to France, I asked, we visited RADS. That's their topmost anti-terrorist organization. And they train the security officers of the French president. And I just asked them, can you train us? Not expecting a positive response, but they responded positively, and they told us, give us 4 weeks, we are going to be there. We've now had 3 teams from them, and we're expecting another team. So they've been very, very helpful. The Germans, criminal police also helping. They give us the dogs and support other training activities. So the stakeholders, I think they are happy that things are happening and we are preventing drugs from entering their own countries and so on. So overall, the year 2023 and 2024 witnessed tangible outcomes that crystallize the achievements of our established goals. Notably, the drug prevention, treatment, and care training for the spouses of state governors offered a viable platform for first ladies who also serve as chairpersons of the state drug control committees to employ a systems-oriented, community-based approach to address complex drug-related issues across states. We recognize persistent funding challenges that continue to affect the full implementation of the NDCMP, but we trust that by the grace of God, things will continue to improve budgetary-wise. Again, I welcome you all to the IMC meeting today and wish you all the very successful graduation. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The National Drug Control Master Plan maps out collaboration strategies amongst partners to address drug abuse. Statistics from the NDLEA shows that its operational efforts and strategic offensives led to the arrest of over 31,000 drug offenders, of whom over 6,000 were convicted. Seizures of over 4.3 million kilograms of assorted illicit drugs and the destruction of over 426.5 hectares of cannabis farms. Figures from the UNODC shows that at least 3 million people are suffering from drug use disorder, with Nigeria contributing about 7.5% to the global data. What is needed, however, is collaboration according to development partners.